Oh no.
Voice.
Podcasting voice brought to you by unaware middle-aged men. Um, some people are not in correct current positions, as it looks like Jonah has taken off. That is, in fact, not Jonah. That is Tay, who is currently in Jonah's position. While Jonah gets a drink or whatever was going on over there, let's recap. You all made it to Athol, a city that is the southernmost stronghold of the Dwarven Empire. Um, there, it seems to be a heavy trade town where you are all checked in and goods checked. Charlie, in particular, decided to do a bit of a glove swipe that got Charlie into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no,
Umbra,
come
remember
over
to
there.
mute. Umbra, remember to mute when you're off mic.
I thought I was muted.
Nope, not at all. So anyhow, Sonari has apparently been here before and knows a lady that runs a research tower. Charlie had a run-in with the head of law in the town. A hardcore lady. Uh, nobody's gonna call her on her stutter, or they will face the consequences. Another high up lady in the town, Sonari's sort of matronly figure, who was checking in with her and taking a few of you over to dinner at the inn for adventurers. And we have Lucian is going into the tower to attempt some research into dragon cults and whatnot. And now that everybody's in the right positions, we can get properly started. So, first
I
thing.
should probably open my character sheet.
First thing, Lucian, you have a quick pass from Luna, the High Archivist of this tower, and directions to an area that may have research on the dragon cults that you are interested in figuring out what is going on with your own past. Would like you to go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay, and I believe investigation is the one I have advantage on.
This is true.
Okay.
Moon elves are dope.
Yes, they are. Okay, so it's just gonna be a flat roll, looks like.
Flat roll with advantage.
That's a natural 20. I rolled a natural 20 and a 2.
Nice. All right.
Balance.
So without too much issue, people stop you, but you have the little check mark, and a few people kind of guide you up. You end up on the third floor on the eastern side in a large historical section that is labeled in Draconic that you can read that says cults there, and you look through and eventually find a couple books that might help you out here. And I would also like you to go ahead and make a history check.
Would this be with advantage?
No, this would not be with advantage.
17.
17. You are reading through the books. You're trying to do it relatively quickly. It's getting late, but you are skimming through and absorbing some of the knowledge. There are stances listed, as well as ways that a channeling of energies. You are pretty sure you're in the right ballpark, at least, reading through the book. And lastly, give me a straight wisdom check.
Oh, hey, cool. I'm good at those. That is an 18.
18. That is just enough for that one.
Plus 3.
Nice. Now you currently have access to fire.
Yes.
All right. You are studying various information. You can only find quick blurbs about the dragon cult for Tiamat that has a monk subwing. Seems like they're relatively secretive. It's mostly a combination of eyesight notes of various people who have caught duels in the streets of those wielding dragon powers who later were found out not to be members of the Bahamut sect. There are some official accounts from Bahamut sect members and how they are hunting down these individuals. You are able to unlock several other elements. You have unlocked cold damage. You have unlocked
All right.
lightning damage, and
Re-unlocked.
re-unlocked. Yes, and you have unlocked acid damage. So you have
Sick.
now
Ooh.
access to most of the dragon damage types.
I think. What's the other one?
But we'll mark down cold, electricity, and acid with your fire, and you can
Poison.
poison's probably the other one. Yeah.
Don't mind my thinking face there.
But yes, your research is found to be quite fruitful there. There is also, because you did very well on your investigation, you found a book in particular on the Order of Bahamut. How it's a nomadic order, but they do meet at twice a year at a oh geez, the word for the thing that happens twice a year. Solstice, yeah. The two solstices, the two solstices, Soltai. And that's a Magic the Gathering thing.
Never had to refer to more than one before.
Right. The both of the solstice that occur, they have a meeting atop of the most northern mountain of the continent, where there is a temple that they traverse up to and meet and talk to each other. New members are brought into the order when needed. That's like the go-to place to be to join them or to parlay with them or anything of that nature. So it seems relevant to you,
Okay.
information-wise.
How far away is that temple? From
Very. You all are a few weeks travel away from about mid-continent.
Ooh.
Oh Jesus.
So it's
So you'd say we're like a quarter?
you're probably a quarter of the way, maybe, to that northern temple.
All right.
Yeah. And it is getting late for you. It is night outside. There is an archivist who's like overseeing your research, holding a candle for you, and the candle's getting low, and the archivist is kind of like, we need to put these back in order and have you move on with your day, if you'd please.
Yes. Of course. And I'm going to hand them back to him instead of trying to put them on the shelf. Because I work in the library.
They nod, and you find your way downstairs. The other three of you, Luna has invited the three of you to dinner as Lucian runs off towards the tower. Leans in on Sonari in particular, kind of taking Sonari's arm, and it's like, okay, we're going to this adventurer's place, and we're going to get some food and talk about all the things we should have talked about months ago, probably. So come on.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
I guess.
I suppose. You are all dragged along. I'm just gonna double check something. All right, fair enough. Whoop. You all are brought over to about a 4-story, very large wood building. It looks like it has 3 chimneys coming out of the top. One of which has a different color smoke coming out of it than the other 2. It's just quite a bit lighter than the other one. There's obviously like a ruckus going on. It looks like there's probably 2 different stories of active like drinking and eating and merriment happening. You can see people moving around and the chants and things coming from the outside. There is a placard of a large wooden purple painted wizard who is drunk and like stumbling and like tripping over a barrel. There's and the wizard and flask is embroidered over the door. Luna leads the way and opens the door. The smell of ale and fresh bread hits everyone really quickly. There's kind of difficult to hear each other. Luna's like, Second floor is a little more calm. And like starts walking up the stairs, and it is a little quieter upstairs, where she finds a little booth in the corner, and is like, okay. He kind of waves over to someone who just nods and then immediately goes back into the kitchen. Comes out shortly after with drinks and food. And it's like, evening, Luna. And it's like, you're not picking back up yet? He's like, no. Still saving up. Need a new sword. Alright. He just sort of nods embarrassingly, like, okay, I'll talk about it. And sets down everybody's stuff. Oh, alright. Dig in. You two. You look traumatized. Just generally, I don't really want to hear anything about it. Sonari, how are you?
Could be better. I'm fine. I guess.
Glad to hear it. It's good on you. You're going out into the world, trying to find a way. And you have all these compatriots with you? Cover for you and all that?
Yeah.
Only been on the road for about a week together, but so I can hold her own pretty well.
And she can.
Sticking around with them for a little while longer.
I'm just glad you're with a group again. Oh, good. And they bring out these like open top meat pies that are
Yes.
sizzling and have a good mix of things. There's a little like garnish of like some kind of fresh herb over the top that seems to have been thrown on just recently. Like, go ahead, make
Fancy adventurer's diner.
Oh, should have seen a month ago. They brought in a dragon, half of a dragon. Good meat though.
Wow.
Sonari, make sure you stick around for a few days. Your cousin Ingram was going to be coming in at some point.
Oh, have you heard from him?
I have. He messaged us, I want to say a few weeks ago. He was bringing, what was he bringing in? He kind of like pulls out a little journal, like itinerary kind of thing, kind of flips through it and goes, oh yes, Ingram, he messaged us. He was bringing, looks like 100 fine pearls used for the identification of magic items. There was a couple of large fine pearls for the scry spell, a bunch of pearl dust for enchanting was going to come in, and he said he was bringing you a magical axe. I know you two haven't always gotten along because he was a real shit and didn't take his responsibilities seriously.
Yeah.
But
It
I
took
think
so
he's
long to click.
I think he's trying
I
to
know.
I think he's trying to make amends. So hopefully he'll be in soon.
I was like, why do
You
I
did, right?
recognize that name? It's like, is it part of my backstory?
Soon as
And then
you
I was
said
like,
pearls.
oh, yep.
Did he happen to mention where he's coming from?
Yes, he was coming up from Seton and wasn't sure exactly when he'd be here, but his time frame was now plus or minus a few
Should
days.
Be
So
soon. Yeah, that's not too far.
yeah, it should be pretty soon. I mean, especially, did you come up from the south or down from the north or?
I came up from the south. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if you didn't run into him, he
I
must be at least
did not
2 days
have
behind
him
you.
Here, yeah.
Oh, well, he's quite capable. I'm not worried in particular. So
Yeah, probably out doing his own thing again.
that's what he's best at, apparently. And I can't emphasize enough how much of a little shit I told him he was when he wasn't taking his responsibilities for you. So, but I think everything turned out okay. You've turned out very well. I'm quite proud. So I think you'll be fine.
I think thanks to you.
I imagine
take credit where
Robbie and
credit's due.
Charlie. I imagine Robbie and Charlie are just doing the like stare down at their plates and then like glance at each other every like couple seconds.
I would like
just,
Ravi and Charlie to make opposed intelligence checks.
intelligence checks.
Yeah.
Who's?
I forgot that I have the highest intelligence of
Oh, yeah.
14. Man, my stomach hurts now.
from laughing so
You
hard.
had to hold in some
Yeah.
screams so you could hit the mute button.
8.
8. So Charlie, you figure out who's being talked about pretty quickly. I think Sonari had mentioned had introduced herself at some point as Sonari Goldshore. And then when the name Ingram was brought up, and then pearls were mentioned, you remember Ingram Goldshore, who you all, namely Lucian in particular, shoved into the ocean as a sacrifice to a genie that Lucian doesn't even, isn't even paired with anymore.
Oh,
And
oh no.
so there's a look of recognition. Ravi, you catch eyes with Ravi, who looks at you a little confused for a sec, and then thinks for a minute, and then you see Ravi kind of click for Ravi, and the two of you are kind of having a bit of a oh shit moment.
So, I've met Ingram briefly. How do you guys know each other?
I guess you could technically call him my uncle.
He was on a trip last I
Cool.
saw him.
Yeah? Do you know where he was headed? Maybe there's a
See.
reason he's being delayed. Okay. That doesn't
Charlie's
track, actually.
downing their drink.
Not technically a lie.
Luna just kind of chimes in with like, well, frankly, he's gonna need to bring you quite an axe for me to forgive him for his little fuckery growing up, but oh well. I technically couldn't make him be a proper gentleman about anything, so oh well. Some people aren't cut out for
Quite
that,
an
I
axe
suppose.
it was.
Guessing that's out of game.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Interesting though. You all ran into Ingram at some point, but you're already up here.
I was stuck on the island briefly.
The island he went to go work for.
Yeah.
She turns to Sonari. He took some job with a certain government about like
Oh,
he raided their pearls or something, and he was
That
I
sounds
believe
like my
he was
uncle.
using it as a front to like collect some extras for us, and that may be the extras he was bringing here. So
Mm-hmm.
I made clear to him he was supposed to fairly purchase with his own coin from his own work, which he swore he would do, but I'm going to be giving him a stern look in the face when he gets here to make sure.
I would not want to be on the other side of that look.
You've been on it a few times. Not for a while, but...
Don't. I'm gonna roll my eyes in childish manner.
Yes. Eat your vegetables.
There have been too many moments like this in this campaign.
You do.
Too
There's
many.
no way you do this by accident.
Where it's just like why do we recognize that thing?
Why
Oh,
is there
right.
Oh.
references
Because we
to my
killed that
actions?
thing.
Because the population's not that high in the world. There's a big important figure. You're like, yeah, they know other people.
Didn't think we'd become friends with, his uncle, his niece, though.
Right. All
She
right.
must never know.
A
She never
almost
did.
weirdly quiet dinner of meat pie continues. Luna's able to slam her drink as well as anybody else. It's like, all right, well, I'm sure you're up with these adventuring types now. So once you have your things in order, then head on out. If you decide you don't want to, if it's too awkward to talk with Ingram, I can have whatever he brings you locked in the vault until you get back. It's fine.
He did contact me. I might, if he shows up when I'm around, I'll see. I'll see if I can have him.
Family, however shitty, is worth an attempt to mend bridges.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to
This seemed,
succeed.
like
Doesn't
relevant
mean...
to my character as well.
I don't think bridge is gonna help.
Unless they literally tried to burn you on a bridge, I think it's try to reestablish those connections. But ultimately, you can find your happiness without him. He's tangential to you at this point.
Ravi's looking at his meat pie like, why the hell is this woman talking about me like this? Like, how does she know so much about me? She's not even talking to me, and she knows everything about me.
I am curious about the Oh, we've already we know this, don't we? The party going out for that beholder.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that,
Would you? You're generally against me going, aren't you?
oh yes, that thing's those things usually have one or two abilities that can just outright kill someone. So, not a big fan of you heading out there for that.
You did say
Give
that
a
it
look over to
was
Charlie.
better for, a smaller group of people, and that
Oh, for sure.
going we might get in the way.
I'm hoping that the because it looked like 15 different adventurers all bent on heading out there. I hope they split into a few groups and go in waves. But who knows? If they all listened to me, there wouldn't be so few of them around.
Leave that. I'm just gonna look at Charlie and shrug. We can't go, I guess. It's not viable.
Yeah, probably a bad idea.
Probably a bad idea.
She finishes her pie and goes, "Oh, all right. Well, I had to pull most of a nighter last night doing the research for that presentation, so I'm gonna hit the old sack. And all of you can do the same. Should have a night covered for you, right?" And the barkeep's like, "Yes, your guests are welcome, Luna." And I was like, "You bet your ass they are." All right. Sonari, make sure to see me before you leave town.
Of course, right.
Always. Put that axe in something that deserves it. And she gets up, gives a nod to the table, heads down the stairs. Three of you are left at the table with another round of drinks coming over.
So, how's your relationship with your uncle? Sounded pretty rocky.
Yeah, wasn't always there for me as a kid. More not there than there, actually, but, I don't know, I always kind of had the hope that maybe we could fix it. Ask him why.
My uncle's a bastard, so,
Relatable. Yeah. Why?
Out of character, you said that, and I wanted to say, well, he's not going to be around anymore.
Unless you know a necromancer.
I know what axe they were talking about. I saw it. I actually was the one that brought it to him. Well, our group, the group I was with. These guys, we found the axe. Actually, it was an axe that casted fireball when you used it.
Oh.
it was an exploding axe. When you
Yeah.
swung the axe, there was like a chance, like a 5% chance or so that it just exploded in your face.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too until it exploded me.
And me.
And also Lucian and this other guy that we were with at the time, who isn't around anymore. Not because
And
he died,
half of the crew.
but then also like half of the crew of the ship we were on.
It sounds like you either didn't know how to use it, or this axe wasn't worth it, actually.
It was bad news.
Huh.
I honestly, it's probably a good thing that
Ingram.
that you can't have it now, or
What
that
happened?
he's not here.
With...
That he's not here yet. That we warned you about it.
That he's not.
Robbie, like trying to
Imagine
salvage
you
this.
staring at you as you stumble through this. Like, okay.
Robbie, who is usually so eloquent.
I'd say
Oh.
Sonari could make an
Deception.
insight check.
I was thinking.
Probably
being
a
happy,
deception check.
I feel like there's like more than eyes that I would lean into. Right? So not just. 19.
Deception. 14.
14.
Robbie's definitely hiding something.
you definitely get the sense that there's some details that are being held back. You don't know if you should press on it necessarily, but you can tell there's some details that are just not being shared.
Okay. And you said you didn't kill people with this axe. You did the person. You didn't kill people with this axe?
Well, it
We
exploded
didn't.
and people died. But
Oh.
no, with,
Technically, it was our old cleric.
Oh.
yeah, he's long
Oh.
gone now, like
Oh.
a ways away now.
Okay. Assuming he had it when you left him, then.
I don't.
Much trouble for you guys.
I don't know. That whole thing was kind of a blur. I didn't see much of anyone. We got off that ship kind of quick.
My uncle was on the ship. You exploded.
No, he didn't die in the explosion though.
Oh. Okay. And you just didn't see him after that? Alright.
No, I saw him after the explosion.
I'm gonna kick Ravi.
Hear the thump.
just like a little sidekick.
Right. I'd say Charlie can make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
Sonari can make a perception check.
Robbie, put the goddamn
Sonari does have
away.
advantage on these.
17.
Alright.
That's a great advantage. That one's also like 15.
Okay.
15. So, okay.
Just under the radar, a tap to
Okay, then.
Ravi to, fewer details is the kick to the shin moment there.
Whatever you're hiding, I don't want to know.
Does Sonari say that out
down
loud?
my drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this new crew seems to have something about Ingram that they don't really want to share. But yeah, Ingram's been into weird stuff over the years, so who knows exactly what it is, but
Like,
something they're uncomfortable talking to you about.
okay. As a topic changer, Robbie, do you want to check out this book I borrowed for you?
Oh yes, for sure.
Alright,
Which book is that?
it is the weapon history one.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just gonna slide it over. I do want to see if Lupin's Lash is in there at some point.
For sure. I go alphabetically.
It is getting late for all of you, so it's the room keys are dropped at the table. Ravi, if you want to try to stay up to do research, or if you want to just pocket it for another time, that's a question to be had.
I ask, what time are we hoping to leave tomorrow?
Anyone?
Like,
Well, Sonari
8?
was hoping to leave
Oh,
the
yeah.
building or leave the city.
oh, I don't remember. I don't know.
Do we
Out of
have a
game, I mean,
schedule
but-
to supply? I was hoping to, if we could, stay.
What
for
were
a
you
day.
hoping to do?
Stay
Oh, you were
for
hoping to
a
stay?
day, another day at least.
Oh, okay. Then I will be up late reading this book.
Okay.
I don't have to
gonna
get up
try
early.
Charlie, what?
Charlie's gonna try the happy alcohol.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yes, make a Constitution saving throw.
20
20.
modified.
You're already a couple of drinks in on some ale, so a shot of the this green drink, hits your tongue. At first it burns, as you expect a well distilled alcohol to burn, and then it keeps burning, and it's burning in a different way, and it gets down your throat, and it is burning everything, but not like in a spicy way. And you realize it is just minty as fuck. It is
Fuck, I hate mint.
the mintiest thing you've ever seen. And looking at the color, it looks like it may have been distilled by some sort of high sugar mint instead of a grain or anything else.
Oh, this hangover's gonna fucking kill.
You get the sense that if you keep slamming some drinks, you're not gonna feel good, but your breath's gonna be great. And
I thought he said this shit would make me happy. I'm gonna throw it back in my bag.
Right side, you smell amazing.
You are complimented by Scenario on your smell.
Thanks.
As a no, you made your save. So, you are heading off to bed, I assume. Charlie and Scenario, at least. Lucian, you get back over to this building with this drunk wizard. There's still the party's kind of dying down. It's getting later at night. People are hitting their rooms to rest. A barkeep on the first floor greets you as you come in. It's like, what do I do for you? Late night snack, room,
Please.
5 gold.
Of course, and
Oh.
I just hand him 5 gold without question.
Deep. You
Uh,
probably see Robbie
breakfast starts
walking.
at 7. If you want
his
good
room.
stuff, get in by 8.
Cool, thanks.
Clock tower doesn't chime till 9 though, so you'll have to look out at it. Slides the key
Okay.
over.
Picks up the key and just heads straight to their room.
Yep. Simple room that everyone has. Looks like there are drawers to keep your stuff. Keys in the drawer if you want to lock your stuff. Most of you can just throw your sack into the large drawer of the dresser and then lock it and feel pretty secure about the situation. Armor rack, weapon rack are all present in these like small rooms. Very efficient, single sleeper adventure kind of rooms. People get a long rest with things going on. Lucian, make a perception check.
Unnatural 20, I believe. Let me just do it. Yep. 14 plus 6.
You hear a yelp get muffled from about a floor up.
Sorry.
You have a minor flashback to the woods and the violence that occurred.
Since we're in the middle of the city, I'm just gonna grab my bow staff and start heading upstairs, seeing if I hear another yelp.
Kind of walk up cautiously approaching the situation.
Full
uh,
Parmesan.
It's a little Parmesan action going on.
Oh no.
Ravi, go ahead. You are staying up to investigate this book of
Yeah.
weaponry. Go ahead and make an
I
investigation
go back
check.
to my room.
Yeah.
I lock the door. Take the candle over to my spot.
Mhm.
And
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
it's a natural 20.
Yep.
I probably needed because my investigation is only a +3.
We're all
Nice.
dumb.
You, with a 23, crack open this book and start digging through. Now, it is definitely not listed in alphabetical order. It is filled out in the order in which people filled out whatever they wanted to submit into the book.
Mhm.
It seems like it was a work in progress that then got reprinted, not a not how you'd say a
Complete volume.
yeah, not it wasn't like reformatted or anything. Going through, there's pretty much
At least
just-
it should probably be in like time, like chronological order. At
you would
least.
think, but you pretty quickly realize that there's
At least somewhat.
actually sort of not at all. You are finding
Ah,
that the
damn.
relics that are brought in to record in the book, there's a base collection of things that are post divergence around this book started getting written around 400 years post divergence, and then but as pre-divergence relics were found, they were added to the book. There's a there's a star razor that is mentioned, wielded by some legendary
For all you
figure.
crit roll fans.
All the crit roll fans. There's a sword of a bard that gets mentioned at some point. There's a few things that but that's not what you're really looking for. You're flipping through.
I just flipping through.
Yeah. You do eventually find a reference to a blade of a champion of Eladrin. Yeah.
It was Coralon, I
Coralon,
think, right?
yeah.
It was Hemayan.
I'm mixing my mythos.
Champion.
Yeah. But yes, you find it's the sword of the champion of the elven god / goddess, and
Is there a drawing of it?
there is, and it is highly recognizable to you. There is a first-hand account of her and all of her equipment, and they don't have pure specs on exactly what everything does, but the sword in particular is detailed, as in she was escorting a group of people over land, and a combat broke out, and it describes in detail her ability to carve through, person after person with barely a thought as to exactly her own defense or anything of that sort. The blade goes into detail in killing technique, which gives you a flashback to a splattering of blood that you witnessed and have a bit of anxiety about. It's detailed in being a highly efficient tool for killing in one hand, and it is otherwise not detailed with any particular overt ability that you would notice. It doesn't turn into a bat or anything like crazy. It just is a very fine sword. The figure herself is detailed as, and you get the read that this section of the book is, and it detailed out that the section is written by Gilly Hornhammer, human acolyte of the Ironlands, of the Kingdom of the Ironlands, and the details given are xenophobic, to say a bit. There's some curious language about about the blade not fitting the aesthetic one would assume of an elf, and there's a couple of coded
Especially
words.
one of Coralon, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of coded words that are more than contextual details. This is someone who has a problem with a particular group of people. But it does mention her being a zealous killer of all things non-elven, cutting down halfling to human to dwarf to orc, no mercy among those who cross her path. And then there's elements of the story that don't make sense too, because apparently this caravan was a whole group of different representatives from different kingdoms. So you're like, wait, if she's just killing everyone, that's not an elf, but she's escorting all these non-elf people. So there's details that don't make sense and seem like there's some writer's bias, but you have all of that detail about this figure and the sword, and it was not a cleaver of kingdoms necessarily, but it's just an efficient tool for cutting through people.
Very good sword.
Yes.
Was there a name for it?
The name. Oh, jeez. You guys making me bust out my notes all the time.
I gotta know. It's a cool sword. I have to know its name.
Right.
So you can steal it.
It's in Elven, but it translates to the Hook of Elbrin.
And how would I spell that?
Hook is Hook. Elebrin is Elebrin.
Okay. Are there any other details about Hemayan in that? In that book?
The author wanted to detail her ruthlessness against non-elves. Was the goal of the writer.
Yeah.
To detail out how aggressive and monstrous this person was in battle. So that was what they decided to record.
Was there like a date that this writing happened? Is there like a little annotation that says like written in 400, post divergence?
Written in, and I don't have the date of the campaign in front of me, but it was written in approximately 150 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. The source of the account.
I should have written this down. Do I remember when Hemayan was like around? Because I know we had the journal from Hemayan.
It would have been within the last 100 years that she was killed, or felled, or however it would be said, and was being
by her own hand.
Yeah, and was being essentially preserved to be resurrected for some great purpose.
Yeah.
Which you have all been informed is within the year.
Yeah. I'm slightly suspicious after reading that, though.
Right, it's definitely a detailed account of her being something of like a eager killer.
Terminator, yeah.
Yeah. I would say with a natural 20, you also took note of what was being described as there was always a single strike to those that approached. There was no flurry of slashes, which is odd to you, being a swordsman yourself. The idea that someone was extremely advanced and a very adept killer, but only had, in out of game terms, a one attack a round kind of thing going on. That seems weird to you. That she was apparently not doing these flurries of slashes. It was a single
One
precise
punch
strike.
man.
Right. Essentially.
Damn. At least I know a little bit more what we're dealing with.
And you peek out the window and see the sun starting to crest the
Oh shit.
crest the mountain range.
I take the little hook thing and put it on my doorknob, just like do not wake until.
All right. Charlie, Sonari, even Lucian, finishing rests and meditations. Charlie in particular, you kind of walk past. You see Ravi's room does have the do not disturb hook on it. Whether or not you follow that is up to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at my equipment right now.
Crowbar.
I do have a crowbar.
Well, I know, because you're a rogue.
Are we not going to resolve?
If you're a rogue without a crowbar, you're a bad rogue.
Right. Charlie, you also have a meeting to get to.
I know, but this is so fun.
What, fucking with your friends?
Which way does the door swing? Like into the room or out of the room?
Into the room.
I answered my own question.
And the handle to the door, is it like a knob or like a
Knob.
Oh, damn. I was gonna jam it with the indestructible rod.
Or the indestructible arrow.
No, I have an indestructible.
Yeah, we also.
Oh yeah, you have that rod that's indestructible too.
You get both.
I haven't gotten the arrow yet. I don't think.
Thought Ravi gave you.
I haven't given. No, I think I gave it to you.
Yeah, during
would
archery,
have
your
if we
archery
had
practice, he handed
met.
it over.
Right. Yeah.
What happened about that yelp I heard in the middle of the night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You got upstairs. You could not place it after that. There's about 13 rooms on the floor, and you're looking around, and you have no indication of where it's from.
I have.
You go
nothing.
downstairs, and there are police everywhere. Apparently, there was a murder. that
And you could have
didn't
stopped
stop.
Yep.
No, I couldn't.
Oh,
Did Lucian? When did Lucian do anything about the Yelp, or just went upstairs and then looked around?
I just checked my 3. Do I know the rooms the other 3 are staying in?
You do not. You got there way later than everybody.
Then I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna hope and pray it's not one of my friends.
Damn.
Not my problem, you know, like a chaotic good person.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna kick in every door. That's rude.
Yeah, letting people die is like not rude at all.
Also, we're in the middle of a town. I have a question. Could I tell what type of Yelp it was?
Not from downstairs and down the hall.
Because what I'm really nervous about is
Adventurer's Tavern.
yeah, it's an adventurer's tavern. Whoever it's in could handle themselves. I also don't want to kick in the door on someone having sex.
Fair enough.
That's what I assumed it was.
As did I. Out of character.
All right. So what does Lucian do?
Lucian, in the morning.
No, at the moment we're in. Just walk downstairs.
No, they're gonna check all the doors for any anything if
Okay.
the door was forced open first, and
You do a quick look. There are signs of forced entry in several rooms. There's no splinters on the ground, but there are signs on several doors that they've been kicked in from time to time.
but none of them look like they've been kicked in tonight.
Not as far as you can tell at a glance, no.
Hey, is anyone getting murdered up here?
All right. So what's Lucian doing?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay. What's Charlie up to? Oh, you're muted. Got the mug and
The
everything.
morning.
Yeah.
I was on mute.
I'm free.
This is the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting my dagger just on an angle so that I can take the griffin cheese and kind of move it in so it goes in under his door.
So you want to get a slice of griffin cheese and slide it under the door.
Oh, I thought it was more liquidy because it said it was kind of
I think.
oozy.
Oh
and
yes, it
stuff.
was a jar. But you can scoop some out with your dagger and slide it under
Like
the
when
door.
you get some feta.
Yeah, I'll slide it under and I'll scrape it off on the floor in the door, but I'll do that with a bit of it.
Yeah, sounds good.
And hope that it smells really bad.
Right. It does have an odor.
Sweet.
Yes, Lucian, what was your decision for the night?
I'm going to go around one more time and listen very carefully to see if I can hear anything.
Yep, make a perception check.
Okay. That's 14.
14, you don't hear anything for the first couple of rooms. You hear a little snoring, and then you do hear an occasional thump, and then some muffled noises, and another thump in one of the rooms. It sounds like there's a struggle.
I feel like Jeff is baiting you, but at the same time,
As do I.
we used to
Yeah.
say.
But that's not the question. The question is, when does "it's what my character would do" actually mean it's what my character would do?
Yeah.
Okay.
What would
One question. Can I tell the nature of the noises?
With 14? No, not exactly. You know there's a struggle happening.
I'm just gonna knock.
Why are mom and dad wrestling?
You hear a gruff male voice. Just, what?
Everything okay in there?
Fuck off!
Okay.
Seems even worse, you know?
What's Lucian doing?
First impulse, just go. Go
Yeah.
for it.
I remember this taking a tenth of the amount of time the last time they were the exact same circumstances.
It wasn't the exact same this time. I don't want to accidentally.
Just kick in the door.
Just do it.
First impulse.
What would Lucian
Just
do?
do it.
Decide!
Come on.
You have PTSD from our last instance. Go.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Then do it.
I'm just gonna leave because A, it's an adventurer's tavern. B, the guy sounds buff and I would die. And C, if it is two people having
You're
sex,
buff
I would
too.
also die.
You're
I'm
also
not.
buff.
Ma'am, Lucian's supposed to be. She's. It's fine. No, I think. So.
There are a couple things Lucian's kinda hesitant to do, like
Okay.
Like this exact same scenario in a different out-of-game knowledge
it's just,
situation.
It's
I
just
will
this
tell
thing
you.
now.
I will
It's
tell you
not.
this now.
It's not exactly the same.
It's pretty close.
It is not. It's close,
It was-
but it's not the same.
Sure. Lucian, now we're going to narrate the fight you were in your room during the night where no one came to help you. All right. So Lucian decides to just leave and head back to her room. Fair enough. Let's see. Oh, Sonari, make a perception check.
Without my advantage, is this general?
No, with your advantage.
Okay, cool. I'll take it. Yeah, I love that. 19, 21.
You're passing by one of the rooms on the second floor, heading down into like breakfast time. You see you do see a small amount of blood that is trickled out from under the door of one of the rooms on the second floor.
Small amount trickled out, like it's like a I guess there's no other way. There's a trickle of blood. I am going to knock as well. There's an answer real quick.
Yeah, you do. You hear like a faint wheeze.
Kicking down the door.
Right. Make an athletics check.
Yeah, okay.
There are two options
Okay,
here,
okay.
both equally horrifying.
13.
Okay, they just have a blood kink, you know.
It could be. We'll see.
There's a whoomph into the door, but no, you didn't manage to pop it free of its restraint.
I'm gonna try again.
There's a wheeze. You hear an unlock.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
door creaks open. You see a half elf. There's a half elf man who's just had the shit kicked out of him. One eye is like swollen completely shut, bloody lip. Got like a split ear. You can see in the floor that was likely passed out on the floor, beaten near death for
My thumb woke him
a
up.
good part of the evening, wheezing there, and your thumb woke him up.
Okay.
He's like, "Hello,
Do you need Do you need help?
not anymore."
You want me to bring you anything? Are you sure?
Now I feel bad.
What the hell happened to you?
That was the point.
I had a
Yeah.
there was a fight. I didn't do well. Fight.
Did you deserve it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. All right.
I'll be okay. Thank you for checking on me.
Of course.
Someone
let
else
me know.
checked in the middle of the night and they just left.
While you were being sounds like an asshole.
I know.
All right.
Thank you.
All
Shuts
right,
the
you-
door.
Good luck. Yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs.
Right. You head downstairs to breakfast. There's people grabbing breakfast. People getting all their stuff together. Tay, you were heading to a meeting of some kind.
Yes.
Nice. You, I would say... Oh, Ravi, make a Constitution saving throw. Oh, he has left. Well, we'll cover that later, I guess. Lucian, you spot the group come down. Charlie seems to be in a little bit of a rush. Sonari seems a little disturbed, disturbed or bothered. But people are grabbing pastry rations and things. Observing Charlie. Does Charlie really grab much of anything, or just head out?
Just heads out.
Sonari, as you're getting to the bottom of the stairs, you see Charlie head out from the building. Lucian, you also see that?
Could I call real quick? Like, wait, where are you going?
I have something I gotta do. Bye.
Alright, leave it at that.
Charlie, very vague about it.
She just does that sometimes.
Lucian chimes in, and then you all go in to get breakfast. Charlie, heading over to the town square, very quickly you spot it's around 7:30 in the morning. It's relatively early. There's not much of a crowd that has gathered yet. There's 3 carts and a 4th that's like pulling in and getting set up for the day's trades. Several stalls still open. Some carts you can see in the distance on the outside of town that looks like they're being checked in still. And you can see Elia Lawbearer sitting at a folding chair in one of the little like side nooks to the town square where there's a little like grassy area to hang out, and she is there with what appears to be like a large cup of coffee and a couple of croissants on a plate. Chewing on one of them, kind of sees you walk into the main thoroughfare and gives you a nod.
Okay. Hi.
Grab a chair.
Okay. So I'll go grab a chair.
She looks around. You see her like look around kind of intently. Are you close? And you hear like 10 feet to your left. Ma'am.
Hey, invisible man.
There's no response. I get them a cup of coffee. And they go, yes, ma'am. And you can hear the now that they're not trying to be unheard, you hear the crunch of the grass as they walk past. Well, Charlie, as it were, I think you are a lucky person. One of my researchers found information on this grog you were asking about. They were under surveillance of some of our operatives, and thus their movements were recorded. They joined up with a mission of adventurers heading to the Inlithil Valley, hoping to recover items lost by a research expedition that had been lost out there years prior. The grog was not amongst the registered survivors from the excursion. I have record of an Isili that was taken for revival in Seton. You may be able to track.
That's my girlfriend.
Have you made contact?
Yeah, she's fine. But she hasn't heard from Grog.
I'm glad to hear she's well. I imagine you didn't gain much other information from her. She was able to be pulled out of the area by arcane means by a Kadu elven wizard who is a researcher. He gestures to the tower of magical curiosities. Is a yes, I have no further information on Kadu. He's apparently upstanding in his reputation. There's Some other minor details. The original mission that this group was hoping to recover artifacts from was from the tower, looking for ancient relics and ancient tomes and such in the Inlithil Valley, which is, I would find, ill-advised. Takes a drink for coffee.
So, Grog's dead then.
I have no record of his survival. And he is someone who we were watching.
Where's this place?
If you went through the mountain at the main Dwarven Kingdom and headed straight to the east, past the border between the Elven and Human kingdoms, is a forest. It's overrun with lycanthropy. Its borders are watched very closely, and excursions are sometimes made into their lands, as it was a stronghold of ancient relics.
Thanks.
Of course. Anything for a law-abiding visitor to my city.
I appreciate it. If it helps my reputation at all, I really wanted to trip the invisible guy, but I didn't.
Progress. Any other avenues you could follow? There's the original expedition was helmed by an archivist, Sanari Coldshore. If you can track her down, you might get some more information about the original excursion that the one Grog was lost on was following.
Thank you. We'll be sure to do that.
And then this Kadu Elven Wizard, I believe, is currently on staff in the tower. Might have... Well, I would have more information on Isley more than anything, but it sounds like you've touched base with her.
Yeah, Again, I appreciate it.
Of course.
I'll, see what I can do about Stardust, but I can't promise anything.
Look for an opportunity. That's all I can really ask. Damn it.
What?
Oh, these... Nothing. It's a personal, kind of gestures over to a cart that's pulling into one of the stalls, and it's getting set up. You can see a shaved, or at least hairless, bald, grayish-blue man and woman. It's hard to tell. Possibly a non-binary individual is setting up. It seems like some sort of monk or hermit type. It doesn't look like they have many goods in their cart, but they look to be setting up like a fortune teller. And this lady goes, there's only one thing I dislike in my town more than thieves. It is charlatans that tell fake fortunes for coin. And the only one thing worse than that are the ones that are not charlatans.
Want me to go beat him up for you?
No.
That was a joke. I'm sorry.
I appreciate the attempt at humor. You may not have earned the leeway as of yet. But no, they're fine. They've every right to conduct their business. There's a reason they were allowed to set up shop. They are technically allowed.
Well, is there anything else, or should I get back to my party?
You see a coffee just like appear in front of you.
Right. Thanks. I'm gonna take a little bit of the alcohol from my flask that I got and put it in the coffee and then drink that.
It's a curious look. It's quite minty, even like a little splash in the coffee.
No,
The
I
pri-
went and I got different alcohol.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yes, it is. It gets the buzz started for the day. There's a nod. Ravi, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. Not bad. Con save. It's a 15.
15. You wake up to an extremely terrible smell. At first you think feet, and then you think rotten garbage. And you think there must be eggs in that garbage. It may be an extremely dead animal, but you or a very, very fine cheese, but one that's not worth tasting anymore. You manage to not throw up, but you are awoken after approximately an hour or two of your rest with a good pile of wet cheese at the base of the door in your room. And the smell has filled the room. Continuing sleeping is probably not an option for you. So
I go out into like I grab my bag of holding, belt, put on my rapier and everything. I assume it's probably like 8 or 9 in the morning. Yeah.
It's about 8 or 9. Yeah.
I'm like covering my face as I go to like the door and like open it and go out into the common room.
There is a sizable smear on the floor as you open the door, but you get out of there and into the common room. You do have a point of exhaustion. You've not been able to rest properly, but you are awoken. You actually do see Lucian and Sonari getting ready to head out for the day. And Sonari and Lucian see Ravi. You see Ravi exhausted coming down the room, very disgusted.
You look like shit.
Thanks for that.
Anytime.
I was reading.
Nerd. I'm kidding, same.
You?
I imagine pushing the glasses up.
I
Nerd.
expected it from like Lucian, but sure.
You find out anything?
Yes, I did. I did. I did find what I was looking for. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Alright.
And then I tried to sleep, and that didn't work well. Someone took a dump in front of my door or something.
Jesus, this place has really gone to hell since I've been gone, huh?
All
I
three
saw
of you.
someone earlier.
Yeah, as you say that,
Completely beat up.
beat the shit half elf or
Yeah.
halfling is like limping down the stairs, and he's like,
Yeah, I think got in a fight in the
kind
middle
of
of the night.
pulls up. The barkeep's like, "You all right?" You're like, "I was assaulted. No one helped." Barkeep's like, grabs a drink and puts it in front. Lucian, yeah.
Do I see this guy beat to shit?
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna like softly winch, like, oh god damn it, and then subtly try to use healing light on him.
Nice. How many dice do you pump into him?
Both
All of them.
D6s.
All of them. Nice. 2d6.
That is 9 points of healing.
You all see the eye, like as he takes a drink, he kind of sits down. And he's like, ah. And the barkeep's
Good
like,
drink.
"You look fine," and he's just like, "Huh? Ah!"
What the
He
fuck?
goes to like hop out of the stool and like lands and goes ah, and like falls over as his knee is still like shredded. And you see like it's got a pretty the knee gets exposed and it's like a giant welt and it's like still heavily injured. And he just kind of gets up and goes, "Well, I'm mostly fine, I guess." Crawls back up onto the stool. Seems to go about their ordering and whatnot. There's
Barkeep,
Hi.
I need about a gallon of coffee.
Okay, if you want good coffee that's gonna get you out of this, you're gonna want to go to go to the square before the coffee cart clears out.
Oh, good idea.
Rob,
Lucian, that way.
that much coffee sounds like a terrible idea.
It was an exaggeration.
Okay.
I'm trying to be comedic in my half asleep state.
You sounded very genuine.
No, sorry. And he walks out the door.
Lucian follows to make sure he doesn't actually drink a gallon of coffee.
It's not
Sorry,
that bad
like,
for
in the
you.
square area, yeah.
Sonari following, everybody rushing over towards the town square. You
General area.
Yeah, you can see there's several carts getting set up. Some that have got like kind of the early bird situation they got in, and you do see you see two rotating carts that are like just making their rounds through the town square slowly. One seems to have drinks, and one seems to have like breakfast meal items. And people will walk up and get drinks and whatnot. The drink cart spots Ravi and like pulls up to him. It's just like, you look like you'd rather not feel this way.
Very astute, my friend.
I've got something for that.
Oh,
You've got a platinum piece. I can make you right as rain for the day. Just make sure you get a proper night's sleep tonight, or it's gonna hit you double.
I think I'd be alright with just the coffee.
Regular coffee. All right.
Hold on. Would I be able to use that later if I got it?
I mean, it's best fresh brewed. I don't know how well it's gonna work on the road.
Okay. So if I tried to use it in the future.
Not the first adventurer to try to milk out this stuff for the road. No, it's not gonna work out real well for you. But it'll make you good today.
Sure.
Platinum piece for me, my man.
When in Rome.
Indeed. He asked for a platinum. You can give him 10 gold or a platinum.
I give him the platinum.
Wait.
Takes it, goes over to a special set of like brew cups, and you see him combine several different things, and finally
Robbie's doing the 1,000-yard stare.
Right, there's a mortar and pestle crushed root of some kind that is brewed into this coffee that is weirdly gray and not black like you were maybe expecting. Like, you drink this, I recommend a chocolate croissant while you're at it.
I'll go get you some food.
I smell it.
It's basically coffee and taro root.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
I'll go get a scone too.
You go to get his scone. What's Lucian doing?
As he grabs the food, I was actually going to pat him on the shoulder and go pick him up. Pick me and him up a croissant.
Sure. Yeah. They ask for a silver piece and hand you a couple of croissants.
All right.
Sonari, you get recognized, and a cup of coffee is just handed to you, and then as the food cart comes around, a chocolate chip muffin is handed over to you.
Nice.
It's got nice like shaved chocolate chips, and you notice like a blueberry powder that seems to have been added.
Ooh.
I'm hungry now.
I forget why I left.
The call to adventure is stronger than blueberry chocolate muffins sometimes. Ravi, your point of exhaustion after you finish your drink is gone.
Nice.
There is a slight headache at the back of your head where you feel like if you don't get a proper long rest tonight, you might get double exhaustion beyond the extra point of exhaustion from not getting a rest. So you might get... You might have 3 points
levels?
of exhaustion if you try to pull another all-nighter. Yeah.
Yikes.
So you're looking at a real crash if you don't get a rest. But
Yeah.
for now, for the day, you're totally fine.
All the way down to speed halved.
Yep.
How's your heart feel?
Yeah, how does my heart feel?
Pretty okay. Considering, pretty okay. You're gonna be all right. You have no ill.
My
effects,
heart
really.
sounds like a motor.
Looking around, you all you actually spot Charlie having having a croissant and a coffee at a table with a couple of chairs at it. It's just Charlie sitting there having a drink and breakfast.
Fortunately, while I have a heart condition, Robbie does not.
That's fair.
Remind me, what does coffee taste like? It's been years.
What?
It's like coffee.
You don't?
Backstory. I drank it once, and then was not allowed to drink it again.
Oh, I look at Sonari just like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
That tracks. Won't give him any coffee. Don't give her
My
any coffee.
girlfriend, and I'm quoting her directly here, said I was an insufferable little shit while I was on it.
Yeah, you're banned from coffee. I can see it.
What does she say when you're not on it?
Generally, coffee just makes me feel like normal,
very,
you know?
Very loving things. It's just that my entire crew said that I was an insufferable little shit while I was on it.
Yeah, coffee generally just makes me feel normal, you know?
I got a lot done, and then immediately passed out. I don't remember what happened after.
Charlie,
Hey.
you finish your meeting. She gets up and leaves at some point, and you're sitting having your coffee and a croissant that was left there for you, sitting at that same table, kind of overlooking the crowd. There's eager business people at their carts looking to make sales, as there's not that many people out and about yet. It seems most of the adventurers drink relatively heavily, so they're not quite out this time of day. So it's pretty much you all that have the run of the town square at the moment. Looking a quick look over people that are setting up. There's like an old female half elf. There looks like relatively common dress, and like a simple covered wagon with a bunch of like odds and ends half sticking out of it. There's a young male dwarf who seems like rather flashy, like he's ready to make a sale, but then there's nobody really next to him yet at the cart. There's a very like matter of fact, like glasses kind of pushed up male elf that's looking around. The only really like interesting character is probably this non-binary blue person who is set up to do like fortune telling, which the other three of you also see all these same people around.
Lucian.
I was going to ask earlier, but I forgot. It's related to the book I read the previous night. Did it give me any information on how to find a member besides on the solstice?
No.
Fuck.
We can just go there for a solstice.
I'm gonna go check the fortune teller thing out.
You walk up and they look down. They look down to you because you're a halfling approaching a cart. They kind of scoot forward so they can look down to you without being obstructed by the wood of the cart, and they say, "Hello. Are you interested in the weave of your fate?"
Depends.
Pardon?
It depends. Are you bullshitting me?
I haven't told you anything yet.
Will you bullshit me?
That is not my intention, no.
Insight check.
Sure. Exactly.
My computer freaked out on me, so I have to do this on my phone now. Skills. 18.
18. You sense no deception. Either they fully believe what they're doing, or what they're doing is legit. And you do, as you express some interest, they kind of look at you and just like, and they pull out their deck of cards, and start to like shuffle them and look down to you and say, "You could step up here. It's a platinum piece for your draw,
Ugh.
and then another platinum for the following card on whichever of the three that are dealt to you you wish to know more about."
Sure. Okay. And I'll place. You said it was 2 platinum?
Well, it's a platinum, and then you can put another platinum down on one of the cards that's dealt. So
Okay.
to start, you hand over a platinum. They nod, slide it back. They deal out 3 cards in front of you. There's a dagger, an arrow, and a field of stars. They look at you and say, whichever of these you wish to know more about, you may place a platinum, but it looks like you have possible futures involving the use of small blades, which often is associated with the killing and assassination of people. There's the arrow, which is seen more as a noble weapon, sometimes used for the same purposes, sometimes used for hunting, sometimes used in defense of castles. And there's your true fate. It's a rare card to have. Many don't wish to know their true fate. We prefer to operate with their own thoughts.
Place down a platinum before the sentence is even done.
On the stars.
On the stars.
There's a like a hesitation of like, I was in the middle of talking, but okay. Leaves the platinum piece on the card and then does another like shuffle and then pulls a card and there's places a mountain that sits on the platinum piece. Goes, you will find your fate in the mountains. There's usually more nuance to these types of things, but when these things are paired together, your true fate card is always straightforward. Your destiny lies in the mountains. A creature or person that you are meant to encounter to meet your ultimate fate. Whether that be your liberation, whether that be your death. It's unknowable. But from here, if you wish to know the flow of your story, you should head to the mountains. There's no requirement. There's no timetable. 50 years or 5 days, you will find your fate in the mountains.
Okay. Thanks. And I will give one more platinum piece. Not for anything, just hand it over.
Takes it and places it on, goes to place it on one of the other two cards. And it says, just places it at the dagger. And shuffles again, plays a card, and there's the moon on the dagger. And she's like, your more subtle tools of death need to see the moon. Things found in the moonlight can be crossed lovers, can be felled foes. Many things can be found in the moonlight, but you, whatever feature of yourself you believe the dagger represents, you need to expose it to the moon.
I don't quite know what you mean, but okay.
Takes the total of 3 platinum pieces, shuffles the cards back into the deck, says, I hope you find the meaning that the cards have said.
I hope so too.
And good day to you.
You as well.
Shuffles up and then puts those cards back into like a small carry box and tucks into the robes and then sits calmly for the next person to approach. And you do see the other 3 kind of hitting their coffee and breakfast items.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Revenderella, how did you sleep?
Something makes me suspicious about that.
What do you mean?
What did you put in my door?
Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're a much worse liar than I am.
Maybe I'm not trying to hide it.
What was it? I'm not extremely mad or anything. I just want to know what it was, because it was heinous.
That, my friend, is a secret I am not willing to tell.
All right. Well, you tell me about what happened in there. Then I point to the fortune teller's card.
Something about showing stuff to the moon.
You're planning
and...
to moon someone.
I mean, I am
Oh.
now.
Lucine did exactly what I just did.
The secret to my fate is ultimately just showing someone my butt.
That's how
Maybe
we
I'll
defeat
try
the
that.
BBUG.
What's
No,
Sonari?
something about.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
It looked, Chris, like
Oh,
they were
sorry.
plotting something.
Something about showing shit, not literal, just like dark stuff.
You're really going in all in on the ass metaphor, aren't you?
Stop.
Hey,
It started with the butt tooth.
Yeah, I
and
was gonna say, you are so in for butt tooth, but not for this.
The butt tooth was a good joke.
So is this.
I'd
I'm
like
sorry.
to debate that. However,
Anyway, sorry, I keep interrupting you. Go on, tell me more about your ass.
No, something about showing like dark shit that I've done or something like that to the dark or the night or the moon or something like that. And then
sounds convoluted.
I really don't want to go to the mountains.
you don't
All
want to go
right.
to the mountains?
Okay.
No.
I thought that was the plan.
You don't have to do what you have to. Oh,
There's
Was it
a
accurate?
number of reasons.
okay.
And I don't want to.
Ravi
You
and
don't
anyone else who
have
wants
to.
could make an insight check.
I sure will.
I have, yeah. I
Yes, please.
terrible insight. Why not though?
I have decent insight, actually. It's a dirty 20.
Negligible.
So
15
Ravi,
here.
what was that on Lucian?
15.
15. I would say Ravi, in particular, picks up that the whole Lucian's probably just more confused about the circumstance, but the whole plan is heading up into the mountains, gathering diamonds, and then bringing them back and averting some world-ending event this year. So the idea of avoiding going to the mountains is kind of weird and silly. But Ravi, you're realizing like this is the first mention of this, and it's immediately after whatever this fortune telling was at this cart. So there's definitely like a connection between this conclusion and whatever happened at the cart.
Well, it looks like it's my turn then.
Aw, I was gonna go.
Ravi,
Just wait your turn.
So Ravi walks up. It's open air area, so if anybody wants to be close by, they could be. Hey,
They'll be close by.
Same.
Sure.
Ravi approaches. They nod. Go. A friend of a previous contributor.
Yes.
It's a platinum piece to begin.
I sit down cross-legged in front of them and
Yep.
put my platinum piece out.
Back up a bit so that there's room for both of you, and nod. Shuffles the deck, deals out 3 cards in front of you. You see the crown, the duel, and the tome. And they gesture downward, and there's... The crown has several meanings. Lordship, kingdoms, associations with as such. Typically those looking to raise themselves up into nobility wish to know the conclusions of the crown card. The duel is for not necessarily sword fighting, but challenges to be met, ways to struggle to improve yourself. And the tome is knowledge, secrets you would otherwise not encounter if you were not to pay attention to following the tome. Another platinum piece to follow one of your threads.
And I'll put it out on the duel.
The duel. They nod, slide the coin to the back end of the card, shuffle up, play another card, and it is a forge card. It seems you have access to many of the skills you require, and now require an implement. You're looking for a forge master. Someone who can create an instrument specific to you. Not a relic of some ancient being, not an attempt to claim the glory of those from the past through their equipment. Have something forged for yourself to cut your path.
And I'll put one out onto the tome as well.
And knowledge. Shuffles up again, plays, and there is a stallion card. The stallion card is sometimes literal. Sometimes a literal creature of travel that can lead you to somewhere unknown to you before. Animals sometimes have a way about them of taking you to a location by just letting them go. More nuanced interpretations are just travel. That you continue on the roads outward to wherever you are heading, and not to remain in one place too long, to be stagnant in your gathering of knowledge. It's also just the mark of a helpful beast. There may be a creature in the woods, something of influence from beyond our own plane even, that can take you to secrets you would otherwise never find.
Well, thank you.
They nod and gather the coins, reshuffle the cards, and
I stand up.
And I sit down.
It's like pushing Lucian out of the way. Just like,
Lucian,
my turn.
I picture Lucian like straightening her clothes, getting ready to step up, and then realizing Sonari's already stepping up onto the cart.
Like I said,
We're saving the best for last.
A gold to or a platinum piece to begin, please.
I place it on the table.
Nice. Shuffles up, plays out the family card. There's a two parents holding a baby, in like an artistic rendition of a small family unit. There's a wolf with a pack behind them. And then there is an axe. Family, which is self-explanatory in its meaning and threads. There's a wolf and its pack, which is often associated with a found family, friends, loved ones that share no blood relation. And the axe, which is typically associated with power and ways to gain and come upon it. A platinum to follow one of your threads.
Gonna put one down on family.
They nod, shuffle. Plays a card that's jet black. It's Void.
Yeah.
I am remorse to inform you that you, as far as family of blood relation and ties of birth, that it seems you have none. Now the cards are sometimes metaphorical. Sometimes it is you have no connection to any of your family of blood relation and should seek acceptance elsewhere. Not to spend any more of your energy or effort on threads that remain down this avenue for acceptance. And put your energies elsewhere.
I look at Charlie.
Not seeing that, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're behind Sonari.
gonna-
Yeah.
No, I kind of want to put one on the axe as well.
Another platinum on the axe.
Yeah,
And,
I want to see it.
Shuffle again. Play a card. And it is the Manticore.
Ooh.
Your power is rooted in some sort of monstrous beast. Something that could be enhanced through finding such a literal beast. I would recommend, kind of gives you a looks over and says, research into some sort of beast that may be paired with whatever abilities or powers you've found already, or finding a beast that is associated with these things. Many powers can be unlocked through the blood of certain entities. It is not uncommon to see adventurers head off into the forest to bring back dragon's blood to unlock spell casting and other special abilities. It seems your path towards power is similar.
Watch, it's a rabbit with a horn sticking out of its head.
Just gotta
Yeah,
snap
that's
that
mine. That one's mine too.
Wait, oh,
I should have followed it.
Thank you. Your insight is scary.
There is a
I feel like Charlie and Robin are
Uh,
just like, I know.
you look down and you see that there is still space to put a platinum on the third card.
Yeah.
And he pauses for a moment before gathering up the coins and cards.
I'll go through it. Why not? I'm
No.
putting the third one down.
Shuffles what remains of the deck. At the wolf and the pack, a simple loaf of broken bread.
Aw.
Finding your family that you will consider as close to you as any blood relation ever could. The broken bread is often associated with forgiveness, with coming together, with joining with those who may have wronged you, who may be distasteful towards you, but ultimately coming together for a common purpose. Break bread with those you wish to be your new family.
Okay.
Gathers the coin, the 4 platinum that you put in, gathers the coins and the cards, shuffles up again, gives you a nod.
Oh, damn.
Stand up, I imagine.
A lot of money.
Stand up, the whole cart kind of a little bit.
Like, hello.
Gets out of the way. Lucian hops up,
Yes.
a platinum to begin.
Yep.
Shovels up, plays out the blood card, the hand that's been cut, with blood dripping down from it. The light card, a candle shining in darkness, and a pair of rings card. Blood, signifying to kill those who have wronged, or those who have not, but blood spilt. Light is to be a beacon, a point of hope for others and yourself. And the rings for relationships, those you love.
Lucian's going to put one platinum down on the rings.
Rings. Shuffles.
Pulls out a card that just says, propose to her, you idiot.
Plays a card and then kind of plays a card down, but pauses. And the ship. And you see a ship that is battered in the waves, like near capsizing. You would seek the sea. Love you seek would be on the ocean. There's turmoil in love and relationships that must be overcome. It happens with many. But if it is that who you love you seek, you would need to seek the sea.
All right. Lucian's then going to put a platinum down on the blood card.
Blood shuffles up, plays a card. The sword. You would seek conflict. If you are wishing to spill blood, you will need to seek out where you know there is conflict. Blood must be spilled to gain the power to spill blood. It's a sad reality of our world.
Yeah. And then they're going to finish up with one on the light card.
So, total of 4 platinum pieces.
Yep.
Shuffles up and then plays a card that you find very almost disturbing. The Almirage, a rabbit with a unicorn horn. If you seek to be a beacon would seek. Now, this creature is highly tied to magic and peace. It is a creature that is known to focus magical energies, and thus it is what you would wish to focus on yourself. To be a beacon, you would need to focus on your magic.
Right. Thank you.
And, of course, to maintain peace.
And you gotta be a racist rabbit.
Racist. That was like a really low insight check, right? That came from like. This
No,
rabbit.
it's just because I named it St. George.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. They nod,
Thank you.
gather the
Thank
coins,
you.
and reshuffle their cards.
And Lucian stands up and leaves, and I need to go let my dog in.
Yeah. All right. The three of you.
That
Lucian's getting a reading.
That was certainly interesting.
There's no.
Who am I supposed to moon?
Charlie, make
I
an
was-
intelligence check.
I was joking, Charlie. I don't think you should moon anyone.
Natural 20?
Okay, you pair together extremely deductively, weirdly, from a like a pseudo-religious supernatural kind of reading that you need to get your literal dagger in some literal moonlight.
It's the fucking moon dagger. That's literally what I have written down.
Yeah.
And as you think
That's
about
what
it,
it
you
is.
realize you all, every time you've been at night for the last couple of weeks, every time you've been under heavy forest cover, your dagger hasn't seen moonlight in like a couple weeks.
It's literally, I labeled it as moon dagger.
Yeah, that's fair. You also pair together that Stardust is probably in the mountains, and you would need to go into the mountains and ultimately face your
Oh yeah.
Face
oh
your fate.
yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that one was overly coded.
Yeah, that one was kind of obvious.
That was you slapping us in the face. With
I was just like, go,
That's-
do it.
Like even the fortune teller being like, "Wow, that's just really straightforward."
I look at Sonari and I'm like, well, it looks like we kind of both have beasts of some sort to look for,
Yeah.
I guess.
From the cart nearby that you were all kind of wandering past, they go, "You know what would help you see really good? Some of my stuff. Come on up." And there's this
Is this that dwarven?
male dwarf who's very well dressed. Like if you could have like a pressed suit in D&D terms, it's like a red tunic with like a purple sash. And it's like,
Oh, I have an idea.
"Pull on up, I got lots of things." By which I mean I have a couple of things, not that many things. You're the adventuring
Alright,
type
well,
though.
let's see.
Well,
So,
how about, and like just from his side pouch, just pulls up, I have these potions to heal your wounds. I know you types are always dropping from one thing or another. I need to pop back up.
How much?
Oh, well, you understand I have to pay my fees and all that. It's 50 gold per.
Yeah. Anybody need these?
Not your thing? That's
Yeah.
fine. Tucks them into his side
I'll
pouch.
be
I'll
alright.
grab one for myself.
Grabbing one, 50 gold.
what else do you have?
I have this, and like reaches into a pocket and pulls out a ring with like bright blue eyes and the face, about half the face of an owl. Some of you see in darkness just fine, as is your ancestries. Some of you do not, and might I recommend the Ring of the Owl to help you
We
see
all look at
in
Charlie.
the darkness.
Much.
300 gold pieces.
Gee, I do have that much.
I put 10 platinum down for you.
As do I.
Aww.
Ching, ching. Well, I guess that's 100 gold pieces.
thanks, guys.
200.
It'll help all of us.
Oh,
Makes sense.
After all, if we're heading into the mountains, I assume seeing in
Yeah.
the dark is something we want to be able to do.
That's true.
I really wanted to prank this guy.
Break him.
Oh, what?
What?
You planning on committing some war crimes, Charlie?
No. Prank.
Oh,
Prank.
prank.
We all
We all,
you
yeah,
should
that is,
break.
yeah, perception check.
Break this guy. All right, so y'all mark off your 10 platinum
I wanna make him
and 100
bleed.
gold there. And the it is called the Ring of the Owl, and attuning to it will grant you a 60-foot dark vision.
Nice.
Now we don't need torches anymore.
Sneaking through the night, much easier now.
Yeah.
I still have another potion.
Anything else you've got?
Why, yes. You look like someone who could appreciate this. Reaches into a box, pulls forward a bright blue silk bolt of cloth. It's like, finest blue silks. The kind you'll see maybe once a year. 250 gold pieces for the bolt.
Do I have an idea of like how much it's actually worth?
Make a history check.
Use my blue dice for this.
Hmm.
Good for the blue.
History. 14.
Seems about right. Yeah. Pretty fine silk would be used to make many garments.
It's very nice, for sure. I'm not exactly the kind to use it though, unfortunately.
Fair enough. I took you all for the adventuring type, which is why I didn't pull it out to start with, but very good. Most of what I have, besides the magic items that I was selling off here, are textiles. My family works in textiles. So, slides that back up into the box. It's like, if it's not this potion for the rest of you, I will have to bid you adieu. Fine, adventurers.
Have a
Was
good
that
day.
Elvish?
No!
Do it too.
Charlie.
I'm gonna prank this guy.
What did we
I'm
just learned, Charlie?
There's a camera over there
Listen,
and over there.
pranking is different than
Pranking is
crime.
diff-
I
Mild
I'm gonna
inconvenience, actual harm.
What's Charlie
Does he have,
doing?
like- does he have like a cart with him?
Yeah, he's on it.
Oh, I'm going to, when we go past, like, put my knife in the griffin cheese and like smear it under his cart
You're terrible.
in like a spot where he like wouldn't be able to see unless he looked for it.
Nice.
I feel like you just noticed the griffin cheese in your inventory at the start of this session, and you're like, now I want to use it.
Right.
No, Jeff said that you were sleeping in and I was going past and saw the sign and asked what I wanted to do, and then I saw it.
Now it needs to be used again. All right. Make a sleight of hand check.
Dirty 20.
Nice. Fair enough. Now make a perception check for me.
14.
Nice. There's you spread this cheese concoction on the underside of the cart and go past in a kind of a roundabout way of like going to the next cart. As you kind of move up to the next cart to like peruse wares that are available, you hear the crunch of like the sand and gravel approaching you. You turn to see who's walking up on you and see no one, until you see
It was just a prank!
you see a bucket of water and a rag appear in your hand. Sloshes slightly as it appears, and you are supporting the weight of it. You can hear the crunch in the ground as they like kneel down, and the voice near your face being like, "You made so much progress towards making good decisions up until now.
This
It's
dude
just a
was so
prank, bro.
nice, and I just.
He's paid
Fine.
his fees. He's not to be hassled.
I'll go and I'll clean up the bottom of the
Uh.
cart.
Right.
We notice the bucket appear.
You notice Charlie walk off, and not much else until like a minute later. You see Charlie scrubbing the underside of the cart with like a rag and water.
Where'd they get the?
Do you think that's actually water?
I mean, it's
What else would it be?
it seems to be water.
I don't know. It's Charlie. It could be anything, guy.
Fair enough. That is a valid point.
There's a in
Looks like they got in trouble.
Elvish, Ravi, as you kind of turn away the silks, you hear a call over. Everyone who doesn't speak Elvish just hears like a "Alu Sawalwin," and there's a kind of a pinned proper elf at the next cart over, who talks over and goes, "I can solve your fashion needs if you wish.
Yeah.
For less than he's charging for a mundane solution."
I'm alright for now, thanks. I'm not unhappy with what I'm wearing, and I don't have any
It's
Me?
from
parties coming up or
it's
anything.
from like 2 seasons ago.
I wouldn't mind a new look.
Lucian kind of making eye contact is like, please. Pulls open a trunk and pulls up pulls up out of it a cloak, wraps it around themselves, snaps their fingers. The embroidery on the ends all changes from a rose filigree to bird claws interlocked, from gold to silver, and then the cloak itself goes from red to purple. Simple cloak, magical in nature, much better for holding off the rain, and anytime I want. Changes again, bright yellow with a dark black filigree of like flocks of ravens going around the edges. However you
How
wish
much?
to appear, may do so. 40 gold pieces.
I will take it.
Takes and hands it over for 40 gold. It's a cloak of many fashions.
Lucian immediately.
Can you change your entire outfit or just the cloak?
Just the cloak.
It's cool, and also, I'm a sucker for glamour magic items.
And like someone who buys the cloak of billowing, and the argument is it billows.
Mm-hmm.
It
what it does.
looks cool.
It does look cool. It can look however you want it to look. A cloak of whatever you want it to look like.
Lucian's gonna
The individual also gives the party a look over and goes, "You don't have much use for my other wares, but if you are ever in need," leans back and like pulls open a crate, and you can see 2 arms mounted inside of the crate, and you kind of like weirdly look at it, and they almost seem like wood interlocking. And you take a closer look, and there's elements of stone and elements of like smoothed metals that come together, and it's like these artificial arms. It's like a simple prosthesis for those of you who lose limbs in your adventures. I have
In
arms,
case Charlie lost their arm from the glove.
and you can see from the different crates, it's like, and gestures to them, arms, hands, legs, feet, eyes, ready for those of you to continue with your travels. Listen.
This tells me that one of us are going to be in danger of losing our arm soon.
At least it's possible.
Yes,
Yeah.
like all of you needed a cloak that changes fashions.
Listen, it was cool, and I liked it. There, end of statement. Lucian's gonna click their fingers, and like the embroidery is kind of like almost dragon scale, and it turns like a light purplish.
Nice. Sonari, you see a female half elf kind of off to the side, just like looking like she wants to like make talk to you, but then doesn't, and like turns back to her cart and kind of fiddles with some like papers and stuff.
I'm gonna keep doing this awkward eye contact meeting thing until I finally just walk over.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Do you need?
What do you?
Sorry. You were saying?
No. Do you wanted? I don't.
Right. So, sorry.
already.
I'm selling things. Things for coin. I should call the cart that. Things for coins. It's a fun store name. So I have a potion that might help. If you're fighting something that does poisons, it gives you resistance to poisons. So I have that. I also have a scroll that might be useful. It's a low level, so if you're not wizardy, you could probably still use it. It casts the alarm spell, makes a nice safe camp area. It's single use because it's a scroll, but if you do find a wizard, they can put it in their spellbook. Or it's still useful if like one night of this place is kind of dodgy, so I need a thing that'll wake me up if somebody approaches the camp while we sleep.
How much?
Oh, the scroll is 40 gold pieces. The potion is resistant for poisons is 200 gold pieces.
I'll take the potion.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
200
that
gold
sounds...
pieces. She goes and pulls over this sort of green and black mix of a small potion vial. Hands it over, not nervously but awkwardly. Takes a coin.
I'm gonna like fumble with it as well. Awkward.
Right.
It's like charisma 8.
Yeah. Same.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, if you know anybody that needs a scroll, let me know. Otherwise, it's all like pelts and stuff and things we make from that. So it's me and my dad. He lives. He just sent me with the cart today. But we have like rabbit and fox and a raccoon and.
I'll let you know. I was gonna walk away.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
That was hard. That was hard to watch.
Johnny.
When I'm done scrubbing, I'm gonna go give the $100 back to the loaners because I just didn't want to do math because I had to convert it to platinum for the goggles.
Oh,
or the ring. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That was Snarry
10
and
platinum is all.
Scrabby, I think.
Math. You just hand them back their 10 platinum pieces and. What's happening?
Yeah.
What?
What? You just go hand them back their coin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't take it back.
I paid for it for a reason.
Yeah.
No.
You helped pay for this, and I hold up the bag of holding.
And I'm just trying to be nicer. Y'all keep bullying me.
You do.
Because you make it so easy.
So mark off your 300 gold and then just add 20 platinum to your to your coin.
Like.
Oh, did they both refuse it?
Yep.
Oh. Cool. Oh, whoa, D&D Beyond, calm down. Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. So you all have made your rounds at the town square. You'll have to decide what your next step would be. It sounds like Sonari might be wanting to stick around for a couple days to see if you all run into her cousin, uncle, or however they've been described. With an awkward, we all murdered that person between the other three.
We haven't said that.
Yeah, that's not been uttered out loud.
I don't know this.
Yeah, Lucy doesn't know.
Right.
Lucy wasn't there, yeah.
Lucy was out for that whole thing. Charlie, you also have some notes you might want to follow up on.
Yeah. I
So
need to
what-
head to the library, I think.
What are my notes? My notes. Random farmer guy fucks.
I have that down
Fuck,
too.
I need to write down people's names so I don't forget them.
Sonari,
Yeah.
Oh,
would you mind? I just need to do some more research today.
Yeah. Can I ask what
Okay.
you want to look into?
Yeah, I read some things about the one figure I was looking for in that one book.
Oh.
And was wondering if they might have any other readings about that person.
Yeah, okay.
The author
I'm
seemed a bit
sitting there today.
biased, you know. So I wanted to.
Multiple
wanted to
sources, always a good
yeah,
option.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I was heading there anyways. So yeah, I'll head.
Uh,
Are we going
We
now?
can return this one.
can I come
Ah.
with you guys?
You want to read?
No. I
Yeah,
just-
come along.
Seem very
have
adamant
questions.
about that.
I think I need to send a message to someone.
Alright. These have been.
You don't see any mail carriers around.
Fuck.
Would I, having lived here, know what direction to point Lucius?
Wizards in the tower are sometimes around and will like charge a little
Yeah.
bit to cast the message spell to send someone a message.
Yes, but
Okay.
we've run into this problem before. We wouldn't know who to look for.
Right.
Depends what you're trying to do.
You keep asking around to find somebody, you're gonna bump into someone that can send a message. Do you want to be so adamant about it, at least?
I miss her, okay?
Yeah. So go
then-
find someone to send her a
yeah.
message.
Okay, I'm going
Go
to do
for it.
that.
I support you. Let's go. Everyone.
Everyone to the library.
Let's all go be nerds.
Choose a profession.
Everyone-
Identify more with geek, actually.
Nerd or geek, you all head up into the Tower of Nerddom with their nerdy floors of nerdness. Official name.
Sounds like a
Canon.
dungeon.
Oh, I found this one. This one
Library
looks
plaque?
interesting. It's called the Dungeon Master's Guide.
It exists. It's canon. It has maps. You all head in. You're all given just a slight nod because you're with Sonari, and you all are head up into the tower. They don't even like mark a charge or anything. Heading on up into the towers. Ravi and Sonari in particular taking point, trying to find some information. Both of you can make an investigation check.
What's your investigation like, Sonari?
Me, it's a +4.
All right, I will
Sonari,
help you
or-
then.
Okay.
Okay. So Ravi helps
Uh,
Sonari, so Sonari rolls
yeah.
with advantage.
We are looking for anything to do, as much as we can about Hamayan.
The natural 20.
Let's
Uh,
go.
A total of 24.
You find an archivist currently studying two different books about Hamayan. This is the person who is currently entombed in Seton, and is awaiting resurrection at your guys' hands, essentially waiting for the diamonds, since the scroll to do so is already there. There's someone there, and they have like a pen, like a quill of ink, and like their own papers and notes, and they have the two things open. And they just look really confused and are looking at both. Like look at one for a little while, and they're like, and they look at the other for a while, and they're like, and they're like jotting notes down. And you all just pull up to someone who's essentially working on their thesis.
Her thesis.
They're working on their thesis with like the two tomes that you're looking for. And you all just sit down at the table, and he just looks up and goes, "Yes."
Sorry to bother you. Those are about Hermione, yeah?
Yes, I'm discerning the truth of the tales. Anything outside of a human or two's lifetime is sometimes unreliable. I have a tome here written in Elvish from Elvish lords that was gifted to the tower 50 years ago, and as well as an account from a human scholar who studied the figure as well. Their reports are very conflicting. One reports a zealous killer of anyone they're given an excuse to. One is a person of great magics who would resurrect peoples routinely, as well as heal the masses. Eliminated disease on one of the coasts in their time, systematically going through and having themselves and others who had the similar abilities to wipe out such things.
I assume the Elvish one is the one that is portraying them as in a more favorable light.
Indeed,
And
that is true. I've cross-referenced with accounts from other tomes of travelers of various racial backgrounds that detail specifically the elimination of disease on the western coast of the continent was recorded in many histories. Many speak of a great angel who came through and removed all disease from their people. From these are primitive tribes that recounted these informations, but still, as these many accounts separately, it should be taken seriously. I assure you, and Princess Anari, I assure you, I've used all of the best scholarly checks to make sure that these references are valid and accounted for.
so which do you think they are?
I think with many histories, there are likely elements of truth in both. But if one was a devout worshipper of the deity that created their people, that does not make them automatically a terrible person, even if they maybe prioritized their own people in the elimination of diseases as such. And those who were left out of that program, as they were not prioritized, would see them as less than a wonderful divine being assisting all peoples. So I feel my conclusion as of this point is that there was a campaign to eliminate disease through divine magics, and that campaign was not completed, but was completed in the Elven kingdoms. And before she was able to complete her work on other peoples, she was met some sort of end, and that detail has been lost to time. But still, just someone's village being left out of a program to eliminate disease does not mean that the people were meant to suffer with disease. It's simply a incomplete campaign. So I'm hoping my paper will reach these conclusions, but of course I must take all references seriously, and I hope my works will be published to clear the name of someone who likely spent the majority of their life for the betterment of all people.
All right. Thank you for your input.
Yes, I'm afraid I will be using these for the remainder of my research, so if you're looking to check them out, it will be some time. Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't
She
think
had
so.
an affinity for lilies that I found quite fascinating, and you can still find patches of lilies on the roads of her travels to this day. I myself took a research team to the western coast where she spent much of her time, and there are lilies that are not native to the coast that are planted in many places along the normally harsh saltwater environment.
Yeah. I used to like lilies, and then I realized that they're very toxic for cats.
Oh, that could explain the reduction in cat population and spike in bird population that has occurred over there in the many decades following. This is a whole new avenue of my research that I will have to look into. I will need someone who can do statistical analysis of cat versus bird populations. I
am not your man, sorry.
I will need to make a note. Perhaps one of the younger researchers is desperate for some attention and can help me with this.
I'm sorry, did we catch your name at all?
You did not. I am Gary.
Gary. Thank you.
Gary.
Gotti. Thank you.
And
I
your last
am
name?
I am an archivist.
Archivist Gotti.
Many of us assume archivist as our surname instead of holding close to attachments to our parentage. Not all, it is not a requirement, but I personally fell under that conviction to the tower.
Of course.
I mean, because like you've got a surname, right, Sonari?
No judgments to other archivists who do not feel the need to do, make that level of commitment. Is a personal choice.
Well, I thank you very much for your help in this topic. Charlie, what did you want to?
Snarry, do you know someone named Kadu?
Sonari, you do know a Kadu. It's the mentor to Sonard, the half elf that people, or not half elf, the halfling that people saw giving a lecture on one of the beast types the previous day.
Yes, I know of him more. I'm not deeply familiar, but I do know him. Hadu? Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to talk to him. And also, do you know someone named Isley and Grog or anything about the forest that has like canthropy stuff?
Sonari would not
So-
know Isley or Grog, but would know the
Okay.
forest.
What do they have to do with the forest?
Well, they were there, and one of them died, but got brought back, and the other one I'm looking for. Hopefully.
I was there on a research expedition. As far as I know, I and another friend of mine were the only survivors of that. I have not heard of your friends.
Okay.
I heard you brought up Grog before. You've disguised yourself.
Yeah,
Said.
he's my friend.
I'm sorry, I can't give you more.
Well, I appreciate what you could. I heard that this Kadu guy was here. Maybe.
Mhm.
Sonari would
I'd like-
know. Sonari would know that he usually hangs out like the 5th floor.
Right. If you want to find him, he's likely to be on the 5th floor.
Okay, thank you.
I'll
I'll
let you
go head
walk
to
around,
the 5th
yeah.
floor.
Um,
And when I
try
get
to do
there,
that
I'll
then.
just yell, Kadu!
What's
I
up?
was about to say right before you leave, I kind of wanted to be like, don't be a little sneaky about it because I have something to do and you shouldn't be going around without me.
Yeah, Charlie only gets about 1 floor up before an archivist stops them and is like,
Okay, so
who's your escort?
Sonari, but I'm looking for Kadu.
Then
Kadu.
you should be with Sonari looking for Kadu.
Okay, thanks.
Uh,
come down and get me.
Sonari has to kind of go with the whole group,
Oh,
basically.
yeah, I'll find him.
Before we go, I was going to ask Gaudi, I was going to say, do you know if there are any wizards currently in the tower that practice any sort of messaging magic?
Oh yes, it's quite common for wizarding types to develop this magic. Those who are experienced enough to make use of it, yes. Usually they hang out in the 5th and 6th floors, which is more arcane research. That's where you're likely to run into some.
Alright, thank you very much, and I'm gonna follow.
The lot of you head up to the 5th floor, where you do see there are a lot more angled desks where people are copying things. There's not much of that happening in the lower floors, where people have the ability to check out books and read them at their leisure and come on back. But here it seems like these tomes are set up specifically for wizard types to make copies of things. And off to one side, Sonari, you very plainly recognize both Cadu and Sonard in conversation by one of the windows.
Kadu's over there if you want to say. I can walk up. And I'm just I'll walk in the direction, but I'm going before we actually arrive. Like, is this like between shelves and stuff?
No, it's pretty open. There are
Like,
some shelves in the
open?
center, but it's a pretty open air
How
area.
far can Charlie? I figure I would know this. How far can Charlie be from me? I have to be in like the vicinity, yeah.
On the same floor, basically. You're supposed to be keeping track.
The same
of them.
floor, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna point Charlie in the direction then, and
Charlie, you see a tall, brown-haired elven wizard type, chatting with a halfling that you recognize from the day before. And they're sort of talking by one of the windows.
I'll kind of go up and like stand behind the halfling a little bit and just kind of do like an awkward "hey, when you're done" kind of wave.
This is kind of talking. Yes, it's very interesting how it can go. Yes.
Hey, you healed
Where's your
dizzily, right?
Sorry, where is your escort?
Sonari, she's over there.
You see the halfling like practically spins around to like look at you, and then
I'm
kind
reading
of
the book that Robbie gave me. that Robbie's.
there's a gesture, and then it looks over and goes, "I'll speak to you later, Archivist." It's like, yes, good day, Archivist. And the halfling walks away. Greetings, Cadu, Archivist. Is your name?
Charlie.
Charlie.
You healed Isley.
I don't
like she was
do
dead.
healing. I am not a healer. Isley, I remember. I owed her one. I was wounded in a battle, and she was able to heal me before I was grievously injured. And when she fell in battle, and I had the opportunity to escape with my life, I had enough reserve to bring someone with me. There were none within range that were alive, so I grabbed her body and got us out of there. Seton seemed the logical place to drop her off in hopes that someone there could successfully heal her. I left the next day. I didn't have any information as to how she fared. Was she resurrected?
Yes, she's alive. She's doing well.
Glad to hear. We are square, she and I, then.
So, Grog's dead.
Grog, the dwarven fellow.
Yeah.
I assume so. He was dragged away. I don't know how graphic you wish for me to be. You seem to have a connection with this individual.
I want to know if there's a chance.
If you'd like, if you would like to have the straight information as I recall it, I will give it to you. But its details are.
Just tell me, get it over with.
I observed when Isley fell. I observed this Grog fighting off as many as he could. 3 or 4 dragged him behind the group. I did see an arm severed and flung free back towards us. My attention at that point was split towards attempts to escape. So I know he's at least missing an arm, but given the 4 to 7 monstrosities that were swarming him, I assume he fell. I was able to raise an ice dome over myself and Isley to hold off further attacks. Could still hear the screams of those remaining, but was able to complete my spell to remove us from the scenario. And then I left her with the healers and Sutton in hopes that they could resurrect her.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I'll reach out to shake his hand.
He kind of like almost looks confused for a second, and is like shakes your hand as well. And goes, I owed her a debt of, as I said, she assisted in the saving of my life, and it seemed I must repay the debt on that.
Thank you for the information. I won't bother you anymore. Can I, like, leave without Sonari escorting me out?
No, you're meant to. I guess technically, I'll walk you out.
Thanks.
Walks by. Sonari, while this has been happening, you kind of almost hide behind a book, but you're a little hard to miss.
Yeah.
There's eventually like a tap at your knee, an annoying one that you're familiar with from years past, and looking up at you is a halfling, very judgmentally staring up at you.
Archivist?
Archivist, you're not here to take any more of our people to the force to be horribly killed, are you?
No.
Good. Any interesting research you've unveiled in these efforts?
Out of character, that just reminded me, didn't I grab papers from the Wizard Tower?
Yes.
Did I ever? I didn't ever said I read them, did I?
Make a history check. See what you've kind of figured out over your nights looking over papers.
Okay. History. Oh, that's not terrible, actually. Then.
The more I play this
14.
campaign, the more I wish I was playing an intelligence-based character.
Only our party had a single brain cell.
We have at least one.
Right.
Me with the +2 is the highest modifier here.
What was that history check? I didn't catch it.
14.
14. You've pieced together. It's scattered because this guy was insane. But
Right.
what you've gathered is that you gain some insights into the afterlife that awaits lycanthropes. That their curse runs through their body into their souls, and that their souls are then carried off to bestial gods beyond the divine gate, and that this axe has been essentially powered with some of those souls. That
Just
raw soul magic of lycanthropy has been
Damn.
channeled
That's
into
fucking sick.
the axe.
That's awesome.
How much of that is the ravings of a lunatic that's losing his
Right.
mind is questionable. Like, you don't have
So
dual
fucking
sourcing
sick.
on that.
That is some Doom Eternal level shit.
Yeah, it totally is.
I'm just gonna.
This thing's powered by werewolf souls.
I'm working on it. Have you found anything new?
Yes, of course. I recently did a research lecture on some ancient tomes that have been recovered from outlanders and cultures outside of any kind of civilization, both in the medicinal uses of the local flora and fauna that have been over there, as well as monstrosities native to their area that are currently creeping out and about. In particular, I assisted High Archivist Luna in research into beholder offspring and some of the lesser known horrors that are generated through their nightmares. There's some fascinating creatures of goblinic origin mixed with the bloodlines of these beholders that can generate beings of thrice-headed monstrosities, one with no eyes, one with no mouth, one with no ears, those with mouths screaming, and those with ears attempting to understand, and those with eyes attempting to find things to eat. Horrifying, but fascinating.
Clearly. How have you been?
As I said, my research has gone quite well.
Aside from your research, Sonard,
Oh,
how have you been?
I've had absolutely no excursions end in the deaths of the majority of my compatriots.
I'm just leaving. I'm just gonna walk away.
Just walks away.
Yeah, no.
There's a.
So not. So, and I follow. I guess.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got follow. But I'll see.
I feel like at the start of that conversation, Lucian and I just kind of like walked away a little bit so that we weren't like in the middle of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And then we
also,
see Sonari start walking off. We're like, oh shit, time to go.
Lucian had to resist the urge to just like, I don't like you.
And Mom said it's time to go.
Charlie, you are being walked out by this Kadu, but then Sonari like turns heel and starts marching. It seems your escort is leaving as well, so I'll bid you good day.
Wait, I need to find a wizard.
You-
Yeah, he overhears that and goes, or I'll just walk you out anyways. Just like heads down the stairs, following everyone. Sonari, how far down are you going? Fully out of the tower, or where you heading?
Just away. So just if it's just to floor it down until Lucine's like, hold on, I'm looking for someone.
Get down about a floor and then okay, kind of peel aside. This Kadu character looks over and goes, and you said you needed a wizard?
Yes. Do you know any spells that would let me talk to someone over long distance?
No. As far as I know, no such spell exists. There are magical items which if you hand them one and you hold on to one, the two of you can communicate over long distances in short phrases. I could contact someone for you if there's a message you need delivered.
Yes, there is.
Fair enough. 25 words is allowed within the magic of the spell, and I could spare one for the day.
Okay. Out of character, what's the name of the town to the south on the coast?
Seton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This message is for someone named Finch Oceancleaver. She should be out on the sea. The message is... okay. Out of character, this is me counting. I'm fine. Meet me in Seton in
A month,
a month.
maybe.
In roughly a month.
It's like, all right. Pauses and the reply was now out of game. You said me.
Reply was, "Who dis?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
New phone, who dis?
Lucian mentioned meet me, and they.
Okay.
Okay. So in a literal interpretation, the message is sent and responds back and goes, this person asked if my testicles were made of eggs and invited me to fuck myself with those eggs, and if I wanted to speak with them, I could meet them in 2 months' time in the city of Rofield, which is 2 hours west on the coast.
Yeah, that is a very characteristic response for her.
Glad it makes sense to you.
Is there any chance you can add just a stipulation from, this is from Lucian, by the way?
That would be an entirely separate casting, which I require for my research and things. I told you I could spare one.
It's okay, it's okay.
Sounds like in a
Well,
month
I
and a
guess
half, you should be able to meet them over in Rofield.
Guess I know where I'm going.
Fair enough. Well, good day to you all. Tana looks at Sonari and squints for a second and goes, "Oh yes, Archivist Sonari.
Archivist.
Archivist. I hope your research has gone well."
Thank you.
It's sort of
As well.
you're aware of it. It's almost just like saying archivist to somebody. It's just like a standard, like, hope you have research going on. Yeah.
It makes me think of the Rise of Skywalker and General.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
I'm just imagining them with hats.
Les, you remember, you've known him before. You two have never had much of like a connection or anything, especially because he's, the mentor of the halfling guy. But he's never been directly rude or anything to you, so it's a relatively standard interaction between the two of you. Nods and takes his leave, heading back up the stairs to the higher floors where they do more magical research.
If wanted to do research on Manticore.
Oh yeah, Manticore stuff. So we're saying we'll probably call it for the night, but you all get to do some research stuff, which we don't need to play out every single roll for. But Charlie, what's going on?
I do have one more thing I want to do when I get out
Sure.
because I'm not sticking around.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
I'm going to run to that person who's selling, like, artificial body parts.
Sure.
What will you, like, can I trade you? And I pull out the, magic eye that I have? Like, like, would you, like, is it like an eye for an eye, or will this cost me an arm and a leg?
Make a persuasion check for me.
12.
12. Like, the eyes usually run about 5 gold cheaper than the limbs. Can you toss in another 10 for my trouble?
Yeah, I can. Can I have an arm, please?
No? Left or right?
Oh, I didn't ask.
I was thinking of
Both.
That'll be another 60 gold then. For
Yeah, that's
this
fine.
So mark off 60 gold, and you have a right
One of
and
each.
a right arm and a left arm prosthetic magical limb.
Nice.
Oh.
yeah.
Thanks.
Indeed, your friend must be in need. There's a awkward pause.
Okay, bye.
And real quick, we'll have Sonari make a nature check.
Ooh, nature. I feel like that's not bad. 17.
17. Real quick research into manticores finds they have some intelligence and usually take over small, almost like sub-village populations of goblins or kobolds or gnolls or some group of kind of monstrous humanoids in the forest somewhere. They'll usually run a temple like that. And in particular, north of the entrance into the main Dwarven Kingdom, there are scattered reports of manticores doing just that, having small little little, almost like a little fiefdom where they have tributes given to them by like goblin villages and things.
Okay. All right. That's
So if you want to bathe in some manticore blood, you got a direction.
delicious.
Terrible. I regret it immediately. All right. So a lot of research, some shopping, some getting into stuff. You all are going to get to a point where you're going to have to decide what fight you want to get into next and pick a direction. And there you have it. So we will pick up next time. Now, on a personal note, my wife may be getting her second dose of COVID vaccine, which is nice, but also, unlike myself, who I'm on the day after and I have a mild headache, which is probably just because I have kids. So
And us.
it's been a lot of toddler chasing
And
today. So only so many times you
Yeah.
can pick up like a 30-pound person from the ground who's trying to either injure themselves
Yeah.
or something else.
Or
Before
throw
you're just
up
like,
on you,
I'm
or-
like, oh man, I got all these joint pain, and headache. I'm like, well, yes, also chasing a toddler all day.
Yeah.
So it's probably that. But she has had like 3 or 4 siblings and cousins that have been a little wiped out for like a day.
Yeah.
So I might not be able to do game next week. We'll have to play it by ear. But
For
if we
sure,
don't
yeah.
see you next weekend, then we'll see you the weekend after. But yeah, try to practice some good fingering. Try not to be an asshole. And there we go.
That was a dig on me, wasn't it?
What? No, it's almost never directed at
mostly
Tay.
Kick in your doors, remember, if you hear weird noises behind
If you
them.
hear weird noises, if you suspect violence is happening, and then someone responds to "fuck off" instead of like "we're busy, thanks," then there's probably some violence happening.
I just assumed they were having
An
really
angry.
sex.
It's Schrodinger's sexual encounter. It's either good or bad choking on based on whether or not you kick in the door.
Oh.
Oh,
Anyway,
great
have a
note.
good night.
Great note to end on. We'll see people next week or the week after, depending on how people are feeling. But farewell, stream. Stream ahead. I need a better outro. But
Fuck
bye.
off.
You can workshop